So, good afternoon to all my dear students. Today we will start the next part of the unit number 1, electromagnetism. In that we are going to see the magnetic effect of an electric current, then the right hand thumb rule, cross and dot convention, corkscrew rule, and the other types of conductor in magnetic domain and the field which is established in it. So, the first is the magnetic effect of an electric current. In the magnetic effect of an electric current, here I have shown you the two different bars. I'll say these are the two long straight conductors. In these two long straight conductors, the first conductor is carrying the upward current. If you will see that there is a blue arrow, light blue arrow. Is it visible to all? Light blue arrow?
Yes, miss. It's there.
Okay. So this light blue arrow indicates the direction of current which is going in upward direction in first bar. So when the current flows in upward direction in the first bar, this current has established a magnetic field around that conductor, and this magnetic field has shown in the form of concentric circles with the three dotted lines around it, and the direction of this magnetic field in anticlockwise direction. This anticlockwise direction of magnetic field is due to the upward current which is flowing through that particular long straight conductor. Okay. Now this particular explanation wants to give you first effect, that what is the first magnetic effect of an electric current, that when the current flows through any conductor, it establishes the magnetic field around it. First point. Second point, this magnetic field is in the form of concentric circles around it. Second point. Okay. Now, third point, the concentric circle or the field, magnetic field, which is near to the conductor, is having higher magnetic strength, and the magnetic field or the concentric circle which is far from the conductor or which is away from the conductor is having weaker magnetic strength. Okay, so stronger magnetic strength we will get for the magnetic field which is near to the conductor, and weaker magnetic strength we will get for the magnetic field which is far from the conductor. Okay, now why it is so? Because yesterday we have seen magnetic field strength or magnetic field intensity, that is capital H. So capital H is equal to Ni upon L. What is Ni upon L? N number of turns of a coil, I that is current flow through the coil, and L is the length of magnetic path. Now length of magnetic path is inversely proportional to the magnetic field strength. So the circle which is near to the conductor is having small circumference, or it is having small length of its circumference. So because the length of the circumference is small, the magnetic field strength is large for that particular circle. So the field which is close to the conductor is having higher magnetic strength. Second point, the magnetic field which is far from the conductor, that particular circle is going to have large circumference. So the length of the circumference of that particular circle is large. Because length is large, the magnetic field strength of that particular circle will be small. So what is the third point? That the magnetic field which is near to the conductor is having strong strength or strong magnetic field, and the magnetic field which is far from the conductor is having weaker magnetic field. The strength of that particular magnetic field is less. Okay. Now fourth point is what? Just see the next bar. The next bar is carrying the current in which direction? Yes. Second bar is carrying the current in which direction?
Downward.
Downward. So when the current is flowing in downward direction, what the change you are observing in the direction of concentric circle?
They are in
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Very good. Okay, it means what? When the current is in upward direction, the magnetic field is anticlockwise, and when the current is downward direction, the magnetic field is clockwise. So what this point wants to give you effect, the effect is as the direction of current changes, the direction of magnetic field changes. Okay, so the direction of magnetic field depends on the direction of current. The next point is the strength of magnetic field or magnetic strength of magnetic field depends on the magnitude of current. Why? Because we have seen yesterday capital H, magnetic field strength or magnetic field intensity, is equal to Ni upon L. So magnetic field strength capital H is directly proportional to I. So as it is directly proportional to I means as the magnitude of the current I increases, the magnetic field strength increases. So if we increase the magnitude of current flowing through the conductor, we can increase the magnetic field strength which is developed around the conductor. So it is directly proportional to that. Then the last effect is what? The nature of magnetic field depends on the nature of current. It means what? If we are having DC current through this particular conductor, if we have DC current flowing through this conductor, it means the DC current is a constant current direction. It will not change its direction. So the direction of magnetic field is also constant. But if I have AC current flowing through that particular conductor, then as we know that AC current is alternating current, so it changes its direction after every cycle. So because current changes its direction after every cycle, the field will also change its direction after every cycle. Clearly understood? Okay, so once again we will revise all the points. First is when an electric current flows through a conductor, a magnetic field is established along the length of conductor. Second point, magnetic lines of force are in the shape of a concentric circle around the conductor, which is stronger near the conductor and gets weaker and weaker at a point further away from the conductor. Next point, the direction of magnetic field through a current carrying conductor depends upon the direction of flow of electric current. So that we have seen, if I have upward current, then we have anti-clockwise direction. When we have downward current, we have clockwise direction of magnetic field. Then the next is the direction of, the strength of magnetic field depends upon the magnitude of current. So as the current increases, the magnetic field strength increases. So greater the current, stronger the magnetic field we are getting in that particular phenomenon. And the last point, the direction of magnetic field gets reversed with the change in the direction of electric current. It means if we have DC current, then constant current will give me constant direction magnetic field. If we have alternating current, then alternating current will give me alternating magnetic field. Okay. Now the next point is right hand thumb rule. Okay, that we have already seen. Now we want to apply it. Okay, so right hand thumb rule is what? Right hand thumb rule is we have to now find out the direction of magnetic field with the help of our thumb and the fingers of right hand. So to find out the direction of magnetic field, what we have to do? We have to take a right hand thumb, okay, and we have to hold our conductor in which the current is passing, okay, just imagination you do it, okay, don't touch any live conductor, okay, so it is just that we are finding the current direction, so we will just act in that way, okay, otherwise you will touch to the live conductor and you will get a shock, okay, so don't do like this. We want to find out the direction of magnetic field by using right hand thumb rule. So what we are doing, we are holding our right hand in such a fashion that we are pointing our right hand thumb in the direction of electric current and we will try to wrap our remaining 4 fingers around the conductor in such a way that we will see the fingers or the fingers will face us or the fingers will come in front of us, okay, clear? So it is like this, I will show you. Yeah, as it is shown in image, you try to put your hand in such a fashion that you should see your nails of 4 fingers. Are you getting? You have to point out your thumb in the direction of current, and you have to wrap remaining 4 fingers in such a fashion that you will say the nails of all fingers. You will say all nails of all fingers, and then that particular curve will give you the idea of the magnetic field. So if my thumb is in upward direction, okay, how your curved fingers, or in which direction your curved fingers are, clockwise or anti-clockwise? Yes?
Anti-clockwise.
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 Very good. Okay. So your fingers are in anti-clockwise direction. So whatever we have seen in the first case, okay, in the upper case, that is this particular case. If the current is in upward direction, what is the direction of magnetic field? Anti-clockwise. Now do this. Very good. Now do the same for downward. Okay. Now hold your finger in such a fashion that your thumb will in downward direction. Your thumb will in downward direction. Okay. And you will not now see the fingers. Okay. You are unable to see your fingers. Okay. You will not see the fingers now. Okay. Because you are now seeing the back of your palm. ओके. तुम्हाला मनगटाच्या पाठचा भाग दिसणार आहे तुमच्या, किंवा तुमच्या तळहाताचा पाठचा भाग तुम्हाला दिसणार आहे, आणि फिंगर्स तुमच्या पाठीमागे आहेत, तुमच्या हाताच्या पाठीमागे फिंगर्स आहेत, आणि अंगठा मात्र खाली डायरेक्शन, खालच्या डायरेक्शनला असणार आहे. सो इफ युअर करंट इज इन डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन and if your fingers at the back of your hand or back of your palm, then that particular curve of your palm is giving you which direction?
Clockwise direction.
Clockwise. Okay. It means downward direction of thumb gives you clockwise direction of magnetic field. Everybody understood clearly, because hereafter we are going to implement that rule to solve the numerical examples. Everybody understood clearly, or once again I should repeat it? Any problem?
No, ma'am.
Everybody
No, ma'am.
So now the statement. Statement is what? If a current carrying conductor is held in right hand with the thumb pointing in the direction of current as seen in above figure, then the direction of wrapping other fingers will show the direction of magnetic field. Only thing is that what care you have to take? When you are pointing thumb upward, you should see your fingers. You should see the nails of your fingers. And when you are pointing your thumb downward, then you will not see your fingers, because your fingers will be back of your palm. Okay. Like that you have to apply your thumb. Okay. Now next point is, the third is the cross and the dot convention. Okay. Now the cross and the dot convention, here I have taken the example of two boys. One boy is the Ajay, okay, and Ajay has thrown an arrow, okay, towards his friend. As Ajay has thrown the arrow towards his friend, Ajay is going to see which portion of the arrow, front side or the back side? Yes?
Back side.
Back side.
Back side.
Okay.
Back side.
Yes, very good. And the back side of the arrow is the notch of the arrow. Okay. And the other side, his friend Jai is going to catch that particular arrow, or he is going to see that particular arrow. Now Jai is going to observe which side of the arrow, front or back?
Front side.
Obviously, front
Front
side.
side.
Okay. So now there are two views of the arrow. One is the front view, another one is the back view. Okay. The front view of the arrow is going to visualize as a tip of arrow, which is going to see by Jai. What Jai is going to see? Jai is only going to see the tip of arrow. So tip of arrow will be represented by dot. Will be represented by dot. And Ajay is going to see the back side of arrow. Okay, and because of this notch, he is going to observe like a cross shape. Okay, Ajay is going to observe the cross shape, and Jai is going to observe the dot shape. Okay, so for Ajay I am telling, as Ajay is going to observe the cross means what? That notch shape. Okay, fully आपण जे म्हणतो ते की गुणाकाराचं साइन. ओके. So cross is nothing but the sign of multiplication. He is going to observe from the back because he is going to see the back side of the arrow. So for Ajay, the arrow is going away from him. As the arrow is going away from Ajay, it nothing but what? The current which is going out, or I'll say outgoing current when you are going to observe. Suppose I am the observer. If Ajay is the observer and if the current is passing from Ajay in such a way that it is going away from Ajay. So that current we are going to declare as the outgoing current for Ajay. Okay, that current we are calling as the outgoing current for Ajay, and this outgoing current is always going to represent in the form of cross. Okay, so now just see what is the meaning of this cross and dot convention. Current flowing through a conductor produces a magnetic field around it. The direction of the current in the conductor is indicated by dot and cross convention. Now cross means this cross. This cross convention we are going to use when the current is flowing away from the observer into the plane of the paper, which is represented by cross convention. Means if I am the observer and if I am observing outgoing current from me or from my side, then that particular current I will represent in the form of cross. Okay, and dot convention means what? It's like a tip, it's like a point. When I'll use this particular convention, when the current flowing towards the observer, when the current is coming to me, when the current is coming towards my side, or when the current is calling as an incoming current. Incoming current means the current is coming to me, and outgoing current is the current going away from me. I'll repeat again. Outgoing current means current going away from me. Incoming current means the current coming towards me. So current coming towards me is going to observe like a tip of arrow. It is nothing but the dot. So it is represented by dot convention. Okay. So now go back to this again. Jai is observing which current? Jai is going to observe which current? Dot. Because the current is which direction? Incoming current. Okay. And Ajay is going to observe what? Which direction of current?
Cross.
Because it is outgoing current. For Ajay, the current is outgoing current. So that outgoing current is going to represent as a cross. Clearly understood, everyone? What is cross and what is dot convention?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see the next point. That is corkscrew rule. Okay, now what this rule? This is also very easy to understand and easy to remind also. Okay. Just imagine that I have this white screen is nothing but my tabletop. Okay, I have a tabletop of a white in a color, and I have taken a screw. Okay, and that screw I want to fix it on the tabletop with the help of screwdriver. Okay, now tell me, if I want to fix any screw in that particular tabletop, then I am taking a screwdriver to rotate it. So when I am rotating that screw with the help of screwdriver, I'll try to move that screw in which direction? Downward or upward? कळलं नाही का? टेबल टॉप आहे आणि टेबलवर आपल्याला
डाउनवर्ड.
येस
डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन.
आपल्याला स्क्रू फिट करायचं आहे. ओके, तर आपल्याला स्क्रू कसं आपण फिट करतो? आपण ठोकत नाही, खिळा ठोकतो. स्क्रू आपण ठोकत नाही, स्क्रू आपण रोटेट करतो किंवा मूव्ह करतो, गोल फिरवतो. आणि मला तो स्क्रूड्रायव्हरने फिरवायचा आहे. तर जर मला फिरवायचा आहे तर मी ऑब्व्हियसली त्या स्क्रूला कुठल्या डायरेक्शन मध्ये टेबलटॉप मध्ये घालण्याचा प्रयत्न करेन? डाउनवर्ड. ओके, and to move that screw in downward direction, how will I rotate my screwdriver? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Very good.
Clockwise.
Very good. Okay, so when the screw is going in downward direction, your screwdriver is moving in clockwise direction. Okay, exactly. Now imagine the opposite case. Now I want to remove the screw which is already fixed on the tabletop. I want to remove it now. मला रिमूव्ह करायचा स्क्रू जो ऑलरेडी फिक्स आहे टेबलटॉप मध्ये. मग मी आता स्क्रूला कुठल्या डायरेक्शन मध्ये फिरवेल?
Upward.
अपवर्ड.
And
And how will I move my screwdriver? How will I move my screwdriver?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise direction.
Clockwise.
Clear? So when I want to remove screw, I am taking my screw in upward direction and I am rotating my screwdriver in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so now let's see. These are the two screws. First screw is going to fix it in the tabletop. So it is going in downward direction. And the screwdriver is going to rotate in clockwise direction. The other screw, second screw, is going to be removed from the tabletop. So it is going in upward direction, and to move that in upward direction, our screwdriver is going to move in anti-clockwise direction. So the direction of the screw is nothing but the direction of current, and the direction of screwdriver is nothing but your direction of magnetic field. Clearly understood? Again, this particular motion is going to match with your right hand rule. Just see. Right hand rule also wants to say what? When your thumb is up, your magnetic field direction is anti-clockwise. Okay, when screw is going up, again now just see. When screw is going up, what is the direction of magnetic field? Anti-clockwise. And when the screw is down, what is the direction of magnetic field? Clockwise.
Clockwise.
Okay, so corkscrew rule and right hand thumb rule are going to play the same role. Thing is that only their implementation part is different. In right hand thumb rule, you are going to use your right hand thumb and other fingers, and in corkscrew rule, you are going to use your screw and the screwdriver. Okay, the concept remains same. Then the direction of the screw. So what is the statement? Just see the statement. It states that if the direction of advancement of screw indicates the direction of current, then the circular motion of the screw indicates the direction of magnetic field. Everybody clear with this? Everybody understood
Yes,
clearly?
ma'am.
Okay. Now the fifth.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, very good. Now the fifth point is the nature of magnetic field in the different types of conductors. Now there are three types of conductors we are going to study. One, the magnetic field in a long straight conductor. Second, the magnetic field in solenoid. Third, magnetic field in toroid. Okay, now just see one by one. First, see magnetic field of a long straight conductor. So what I did, I have taken a grey color bar, okay, which is of a metal, and two ends of this metal bar I have connected to the battery, and this battery is going to give me the current I of magnitude, which is flowing through the resistance and then going to the bar in downward direction, okay, and then coming back to the negative plate of the battery. So current is flowing in this particular long straight conductor in downward direction. The resistance we have taken to limit the value of current. That's it. Okay. Now as the current is flowing through the conductor, as per the magnetic effect of electric current, it has established the magnetic field around it. This established magnetic field we have shown as a dotted line on the light brown paper. That is the light brown paper we have taken just to indicate the plane, magnetic plane. Okay. So on that magnetic plane, the grey color three circles, concentric circles with the dotted line I have shown. Okay. Now this particular circles are having which direction? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Why?
Clockwise.
Why clockwise direction we are getting? Because
Downward. It's going
because
down.
current is in downward direction.
Downward direction.
Very good. Because the current is flowing in downward direction, so the magnetic field which is established around the conductor is in clockwise direction. Okay. Now we want to find out the magnetic field strength for this particular experiment. Okay. So to find out the magnetic field strength, as we have considered that we have to find out one particular point, say point P. Okay, consider a point P. Now P point is lying on which circle? That is the outermost circle. Everybody understood? Point P is lying on the outermost circle around the conductor. And this circle, outermost circle, is having the distance between the conductor and the point P is nothing but what? The small r. That is nothing but a radius r of that particular circle. Okay. The distance between point P and the conductor is nothing but what? Is nothing but the radius of that particular circle. And that radius of the circle is shown by small r. Okay. Now tell me, what will be the circumference of that outermost circle? What will be the circumference of that outermost circle?
2 pi r.
Very good, 2 pi r. Now this circumference of the circle, can I say it is nothing but that length of that magnetic flux line which is passing through that outermost circle? I'll repeat. Circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. This circumference of the circle is nothing but the length of magnetic path through which the flux is flowing in that particular circle. जी फ्लक्स लाइन आहे जी त्या सर्कल मधनं फ्लो होते.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, तर त्या पर्टिक्युलर फ्लक्स लाईनची लेंथ काय असणार आहे? त्या सर्कलचा सर्कम्फरन्स, आणि सर्कलचा सर्कम्फरन्स काय आहे? 2 पाय आहे. सो लेंथ ऑफ मॅग्नेटिक पाथ फॉर outermost magnetic field will be what? Will be 2 pi r. Okay, everybody is getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we want to find out magnetic field strength H, capital H. Capital H चा काल फॉर्म्युला काय सांगितला? कशी काढायची capital H?
Ni upon L.
Very good. Magnetic field strength capital H is equal to Ni upon L. Now in this particular case we want to find out magnetic field strength at point P. What is the formula of H? Ni upon N. Okay, what is N? Number of turns. I, current flow through the conductor, and L is the magnetic path length. Now tell me, in this particular case, what will be my L, magnetic path length? It will be 2 pi r. And what will be my N? N equal to 1. Why N equal to 1? Because there is only one single straight conductor. There are no number of turns. So N is equal to 1 for long straight conductor. So if N equal to 1 and if L equal to 2 pi r, what will be my H for this particular case or for this particular point P? H will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r ampere turns per meter. Why the unit is ampere turns per meter? Because numerator is Ni. N number of turns, I ampere. So numerator unit is ampere turn and denominator is the circumference length. So R is in meter, so denominator unit is in meter. So the whole ratio unit is ampere turn per meter. Clearly understood everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
whenever the numerical will come, okay, for a long straight conductor, and if they are asking you to calculate capital H, that is magnetic field strength or magnetic field intensity, how you will calculate it? H will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r. And the unit is either ampere turn per meter or ampere per meter. Okay. Now just imagine if suppose instead of a single conductor, okay, if we have taken similar 5 conductors together, bunch of 5 conductors, okay, here second image. In the second image, suppose I have a bunch of 5 separate conductors. Bunch of 5 separate conductors, and I have grouped it and form it as a bunch. So that bunch will be look like a cable. Okay, जर तुम्ही पाहिली असेल तर केबल जी आहे, this cable is nothing but what? Cable is nothing but a bunch of conductors. Okay, So that bunch of conductor is nothing but what? Taking long straight conductors. Number of long straight conductors we are grouping together. समजा ही केस आहे की मी एक 10 लॉंग स्ट्रेट कंडक्टर्स बंच मध्ये बांधले आणि परत मी सेम त्या बॅटरीला कनेक्ट केले इन द सेम सर्किट. Instead of a one single conductor, I have taken a group of 10 long straight conductors and connected both the ends to the battery. Okay. आता जर मला if I want to calculate capital H, that is magnetic field strength, at point P in the similar fashion, then what will be my capital H? I'll repeat my sentence. Instead of a single straight conductor, now I have taken 10 straight conductors and taken bunch together and I want to find out magnetic field strength H. So what will be the answer?
10I upon 2 pi r.
Very good. 10I upon 2 pi r. So what is the meaning of that? If n number of turns of straight conductors group together to form a cable, then the magnetic field strength at point P is what? At point P is capital H equal to Ni upon 2 pi r ampere turn per meter. So this N indicates what? Number of straight conductors. Now in this case I have taken 10, so it is 10I upon 2 pi r. If I have taken pi, it will be pi I upon 2 pi r. Clearly understood first case, everyone? That is nature of magnetic field in a long straight conductor. If it is a single, it is capital H equal to I upon 2 pi r. If it is multiple, then capital H is equal to Ni upon 2 pi r ampere turn per meter. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
move further? Second case.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So second case is now we have to take a solenoid. So magnetic field of a solenoid now we are going to observe. So can anyone tell me what is solenoid? Yes, what is solenoid? Solenoid. What is solenoid?
It is a
Yes.
coil.
It is a coil, right? It is a coil. It is a long straight conductor wound in the number of turns and will form a coil. It may be air cooled coil or it may be a coil wound on a rod or a bar. Okay. So now just see. Here we have taken a rod, a metal rod, and we have taken number of turns of a long straight conductor which forms a solenoid, and assume that the two ends of that particular conductor or two ends of that particular wire have connected to one battery, and that battery has given me the current I, and this current I is flowing through every turn of that solenoid. Okay. Now just assume that here now we are going to apply the same right hand thumb rule but in the different fashion. In the previous fashion what we did, we have pointed the thumb in the direction of current and we got the direction of magnetic field with the help of 4 fingers. Now we are going to implement here in the reverse fashion. Okay. Assume that the current is flowing through the coil in such a way that the N pole is radiating magnetic lines and S pole is accepting magnetic lines. Okay. So we know the poles. Okay, just assume that in this case we are knowing the poles. Which pole is N pole and which pole is S pole. Okay, so N pole will radiate flux lines and S pole is accepting flux lines. If it is so, then the magnetic flux lines will pass through the rod. Magnetic flux lines will pass through the rod from S pole to N pole. Are you getting? जर मला ऑलरेडी माहित आहे की एन पोल कुठला आणि एस पोल कुठला आहे. ओके, मी समजा त्या रॉडला लिहिलं की एन पोल एक एंड आहे आणि एस पोल एक एंड आहे, तर त्या रॉड मधनं पास होणारी जी फ्लक्स लाईन आहे ती कशी पास होईल? इट विल गो फ्रॉम एस पोल टू एन पोल, विच वी हॅव ऑलरेडी सीन इन दी प्रीवियस क्लासेस. whenever the flux lines are passing from the external side of the magnet, it moves from N pole to S pole. But when the flux lines passes through the magnet, through the internal side of the magnet, it passes always from S pole to N pole. It means the flux line is passing from S pole to N pole. So what you have to do, again you have to take a thumb and you have to hold your hand in such a fashion that your thumb, right hand thumb, will point towards N, N pole. Okay, so you have to now, everybody do it, okay? Point your right hand thumb towards N pole and hold your hand in such a fashion that you will see all fingers, in such a fashion that you will see all nails, okay? Front fingers, फिंगरची फ्रंट साइड जी आहे किंवा फिंगरचे नेल्स जे आहे ते तुम्हाला दिसले पाहिजे, अशा पद्धतीने तुम्हाला तो थंब पॉइंट करायचा आहे. सो यू विल पॉइंट युअर थंब टुवर्ड्स एन पोल and you will hold your fingers or you will curve your fingers in such a fashion that you will see all fingers and their nails also. Okay, now tell me, in this particular situation, your curved fingers or the curve of your finger is going in upward direction or downward direction? Curve of your finger is going in up direction or down direction?
Upward.
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 Very good. Upward. Everybody is getting upward direction, no? Nobody is getting downward direction. डाऊनवर्ड डिरेक्शन कधी मिळेल तुम्हाला, जेव्हा तुमचे फिंगर्स तुमच्या पामच्या बॅक साईडला असतील तर. पण आपल्याला तसं नको आहे. मी तुम्हाला आधीच सांगितले की राईट हँड थंब रूल अप्लाय करताना तुम्हाला फिंगर्स तुमच्या साईडला पाहिजे, तुम्ही फिंगर्स बघायला पाहिजे, तुमच्याकडे फिंगर्स आले पाहिजे. युअर फिंगर शुड फेस यू, okay, or you should see the nails of your fingers. Okay, so if I am pointing my thumb towards the end pole, then remaining 4 fingers are curved in the upward direction. So this upward direction of fingers gives me the direction of current, that every turn of the coil is carrying the current in upward direction. So now what we found, here we found the direction of current from the direction of field. Means we were knowing the direction of field, we were knowing which is N pole and which is S pole. So we have pointed our thumb towards the N pole. It means we have inlined our thumb in the direction of magnetic field, and we have curved our remaining fingers in such a fashion that the nails are towards my face. So this particular curve of my finger is going in upward direction. So it gives me the idea that every turn of the coil is taking upward direction current. Everybody understood it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, terminal we have connected in the reverse direction. Because we have connected the battery in the reverse direction, now my thumb will also be in the reverse direction. Because my thumb will be in the reverse direction, again we will curve our 4 fingers towards me, towards my face. Okay, so now this curve of finger is in which direction, downward or upward? Not getting, I think. Nobody understood.
Downward.
Downward. In the second case, what I did, I have now changed the direction of field. In the first case, the case which is I am showing on the screen, here the direction of field is what? From S pole to N pole. So we have pointed our thumb towards N pole. Now I am changing the direction of field. As the field is reversed, my thumb will go in the reverse direction. So now my thumb is towards S pole as per my screen image. Now you just point your thumb towards S pole. Okay, and take now remaining 4 fingers in the curved direction. So your curve of your fingers will be in which direction? Downward or upward?
Downward direction.
Downward direction. Is everyone getting the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting it, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
this particular phenomena and this particular implementation is important. Okay. So now here we are going to find again the magnetic field strength H. So what will be my capital H in this case? Capital H is equal to again Ni upon L. Now here N means number of turns of coil which we have taken in the solenoid. Here now L is what? Here now L is the length of magnetic path, is nothing but what? Length of solenoid. Now tell me, length of solenoid depends on which parameter? Length of rod or number of turns of coil? Tell me, length of solenoid will be depend on what? Will be depend on length of rod or number of turns of solenoid?
Number of tons of solenoid.
Number of tons.
Very good, very good, very
Number
good.
of
Okay, because I can keep the same rod, and if I am taking only 2 tons, then the length of solenoid is very small. But if I am taking the same rod and taking, say, suppose 50 tons, okay, then compared to that 2 tons length, here 50 tons length has increased, so length of solenoid has increased. Okay, so that is again in meter. So H is equal to Ni upon L, where L is the length of solenoid. Everybody understood now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the last case is,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Now the last case is the toroid case, magnetic field of a toroid. Now toroid means what? It is nothing but a coil. Okay, it's a circular shape and which is hollow. So it is a circular coil shape which is hollow. Okay, and on that hollow circular coil or circular shape, we are taking number of turns of a coil. Okay, now just imagine a steering of a car and you are sitting on a driver's seat. Okay, and on that steering I have taken some number of turns of wire, and these 2 turns of wire I have connected to the battery. Okay, and now again we want to find out the direction of current. I do not know in which direction the current is flowing, but I know that the field, magnetic field which is developed in that steering is in clockwise direction. So is everyone seeing that, or is it visible to all?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes.
yes, so light pink color dotted lines are my magnetic flux lines which are in the clockwise direction, and now I want to find out which direction of current we are getting in number of turns of coil. Okay, it's the lowermost portion of your steering is nothing but lowermost portion of your coil, this particular portion. Okay, in this particular portion means the steering portion which will touch to your stomach or the chest part. Okay, so that particular portion you just concentrate. In this particular portion, the flux lines will pass from your right hand to left hand. As it is going in clockwise direction, the flux lines direction will pass from your right hand side to your left hand side. Is everyone getting? In the downward portion of your steering, if the flux lines are in clockwise direction, then they'll move from your right hand to your left hand. Is it so? Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now point your thumb in the same fashion. Right hand thumb, you will point towards your left hand. Do everyone? Okay. As the flux lines are moving from your right hand side to left hand side, so your right hand thumb you will point towards your left hand. Towards your left hand. Okay. Towards your left hand. And again the curved fingers will be towards your face. The 4 fingers will be towards your face, or the 4 fingers in front of your face. Okay. If it is so, then what will be the direction of current in every turn? Upward or downward? Front side turns. As I am taking my curved fingers towards my face or in front of my face, then the front side turns of the coil will carry which current? Upward current or downward current?
Upward.
Upward.
Very good.
Upward.
Very good. Okay, because 4 fingers are in front of you. So the curve of your finger is in upward direction. So current will flow in upward direction in the front side of the tongue. But what will be the direction of current at the back side of the tongue? Back side of the tongues will carry which current? Upward or downward?
Downward.
Downward.
If the front side tongue is carrying upward current, then obviously the back side of tongue will carry which current? Will carry downward current. Okay. So again in this particular case, we want to find out the magnetic field strength capital H, which is equal to what? Again same, Ni upon L, where N is the number of turns of coil, I is the current flow through the coil. Here length is different. Here length is mean circumference of toroid, because in the toroid, as per the thickness of the toroid, there are number of flux lines will go, and as per the thickness of the toroid, the inner diameter and the outer diameter are different. Okay, inner diameter will have inner circumference length, outer diameter will have outer circumference length. Suppose inner diameter radius is R1, then inner circumference length will be 2 pi r R1. And if outer circumference, if the outer radius is R2, the outer circumference will be what? 2 pi R2. So now there are two circumference we have. One is the inner circumference, another one is the outer circumference. So we have to find out the mean circumference. Now mean circumference, how will I calculate? 2 pi R1
2 pi
1 plus 2 pi R2 divided by 2. Okay. So mean circumference of toroid we have to calculate here, which will be the addition of both the circumference divided by 2. That is nothing but average. Okay, because mean is nothing but average. So by taking the average of both the circumference, we are able to find out the mean circumference length of the toroid, which we will take it in the denominator to calculate capital H. Okay. So in the magnetic field of toroid, your L means nothing but the mean circumference of toroid. In the solenoid, your L is nothing but length of solenoid. Okay. Are you getting? And in a straight conductor, your L is nothing but what? The length of a straight conductor. Length of a straight conductor. So in every case, L is going to play a different role. As the case is, L will be different. For a long straight conductor, L is the length of your conductor. In solenoid, L is length of your solenoid. And in toroid, the length is your mean circumference of toroid. Okay. So in today's session, what we have learned, first is the magnetic effect of an electric current. So which are the effects of an electric current? First, yes, one by one, point out, summarize. Students can unmute your mic and summarize the points. Magnetic effect of an electric current. Which points we have seen here? Do it fast. Electric current flows through the conductor, establish a magnetic field around it. The magnetic field is in the form of a concentric circles. The magnetic field which is near the conductor is the stronger, and the magnetic field which is far from the conductor is weaker. Second, the direction of magnetic field depends on the direction of current. Third, the magnitude of current decides the magnitude of magnetic field strength. Fourth, the nature of current decides the nature of magnetic field. DC current gives you constant field, alternating current gives you alternating field. Then we have seen right hand thumb rule. Okay, right hand thumb rule gives you, we have to line up our thumb, we have to point our thumb. If in the direction of field, then remaining 4 fingers gives the direction of current. And if we line up our thumb in the direction of current, we get the direction of current with the help of 4 fingers. Then the cross and dot convention. Incoming current is going to be represented as a dot convention, and outgoing current is going to be represented as a cross convention. Then the corkscrew rule, that the advancement of the screw gives you the current direction, and The motion of the screw gives you the direction of magnetic field. And the last point is the nature of magnetic field. The nature of magnetic field is long straight conductor, solenoid and toroid. I hope everybody understood it clearly.